allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Council meets regularly to conduct business on behalf of the citizens of Advance, Indiana, to hear from various departments as to progress of their activities. Public is invited to attend as an observer of the council proceeding on occasion of allowing input towards a particular subject. Time shall adopt rules of order. No one shall speak unless recognized by the council president. Once recognized, the speaker shall stand, state your name, state your purpose. When addressing the council, speaker shall remain on the subject of discussion and shall not introduce any new matter for further discussion. No profanity or variety will be allowed by the council in session. Those who are allowed to speak shall be permitted to speak 3 minutes the first time, 2 minutes the second time, 1 minute the last time on the matter of current subject. The council by statute has final authority in all matters to this session and conduct the meeting in such a way as to deem necessary to maintain order and proceed. If a resident would like to discuss a new concern, request to speak must be submitted to and returned to the court treasurer's office no later than Wednesday prior to a council meeting. Forms received after the deadline will be placed on next month's agenda. County council can take reasonable steps to maintain order during the meeting, including the removal of any person willfully disrupting during the meeting. You have to First subject is Jeff Wilkes, sir.
Ready to go?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm gonna give you guys the card here. I'll pass them down here. My name's Jeff Wolf, and I've been working with the town of Thorntown now for almost a year, and working on a consulting basis, just to help them in general with projects and management questions, process questions during meetings, that kind of thing. My role before that, I was a county commissioner for 16 years, and worked with, as many of you faces here I know, because I've worked with the small towns a lot over the years, trying to help coordinate how the small towns work with the county, and I think we've been pretty successful in that over the years. But what we're talking about today is a water and sewer district, and it's a concept that we have seen around the state in many places. There's one that's right over here in Newport in Montgomery County, and we looked at it, and this discussion started off and on probably 5 or 6 years ago. The first time we had some interest in development at 47 and 65, and then recently, when Merit Contracting went before the APC and got approval for their project at 47 and 65, then this discussion kind of amped up pretty quickly. But I was working on this when I was a county commissioner, and it's an idea that basically allows you to have a district where you run a sewer, and it allows local oversight of that sewer district. And so you have board members. The concept would be the board members would be people that are served by the district, live in the district, served by the district. They're starting out there at 47 Commons with some private septic and private wells, but their hope is to be on a municipal system relatively quickly. That would either be a small treatment plant there at the site, or what we have proposed when I came into Thorntown. Thorntown's facing what all small towns are facing, is aging infrastructure. The system that Thorntown has is, and I failed to introduce Dave Williams as president of our council, and but their system is older, and it's a lagoon system, and the next expansion of that system is going to have to be a mechanical system. So what we did is we started the discussion with Donnie Lawson, County Commissioner, to say, okay, what if we work together on this, put the district together to include Thorntown, and then we build one plant to share between the county and the town, instead of building 2 separate, very expensive plants. That's the idea that we've been working on. We're just really close to being able to submit to IDEM for our permit for the sewer district. I expect that probably will happen in the next 30 to 60 days. And we hoped to have had it done by now, but it's been delayed a little bit more than what we really hoped for. But our idea is to really try to spread costs over a larger number of ratepayers so that the ratepayers don't get hit so hard every time there's a repair, every time there's an upgrade, every time there's an expansion. It doesn't hit the ratepayers as hard because, you know, the system that Thorntown needs to put in will be $25 to $30 million in 6 to 7 years. And I know if you guys have growth here, you're going to have to expand your system too, and that's going to be a large number as well. And in talks with Jim over the years, and you know, I've spoken with the town council in Jamestown. We believe there's some real value in making these sewer districts work together. So if you get one started here, we'd like to see maybe a few years down the road where those two districts combine with each other to help with that cost share and help with just a bigger project in general. There's some protections that are a part of it that allow for you to have more control of your own water and sewer. There are areas where Lebanon has decided they wanted to expand out into the county beyond their borders, and this would allow us to help control some of that. We want to make sure that the towns always are in control of their own systems. That's what's important. And the district would not take the control away from you. It is a partnership, basically. And so that's kind of what we're hoping for. David, do you want to add anything?
No.
Okay. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to open it up, and if anybody has questions, I'll do my best to answer those questions.
My question is, are you gonna pay for this? What bond or what?
Yeah, this would be a rate bond is what we're gonna look at, and that rate bond would include not just the town of Thorntown, but it would also include ratepayers in the new 47 commons. There's, I'm sure, gonna have to be at least a lit backup or a property tax backup to that bond. We don't know that yet, but I'm sure that that's what's gonna happen. But it's but you know, with us working with the county on this particular one, that gives us not just our borrowing power, but the borrowing power of the county as well. And so we can look at maybe getting a system that will take us a lot further into the future than just putting Band-Aids on systems as we go. That's what we want to avoid. We want to make sure that once we build this, we're set for 15, 20 years without having to make any major changes.
I think we're looking pretty, I know, we already approved, they had a water sewer territory from 32 to 74 and a mile either side of 75. And from what we can tell, it's gonna probably take 18 months to two years to get everything done, the territory. But it allows us to control the water and sewer in our area. If somebody wants to build in one sewer, we tell them, what about your water, you have to pay for it. And pretty much, I talked to the attorney we're doing, said, want a solid ordinance that says you cannot build with it unless you pay for it. In other words, you're not gonna come and make our ratepayer lose money because you wanna build or maybe increase the prices.
Yeah, the connection fees, you can easily do that with. Where that gets a little bit more challenging is expansions of the whole system. And a lot of times that requires just a larger group to help pay for that. But what we're going to be using is the rate collection. We're going to be using TIF dollars as they are available. The TIF dollars will be coming from the 47 commons. We're seriously looking at putting some TIF districts into Thorntown, where we hope that maybe we'll have some growth, possibly a commercial. Jamestown, I believe, has put a residential TIF on the new subdivision they're getting, and that's going to collect some money for their infrastructure upgrades. We will probably attempt later this year to get a residential TIF on the new residences we're getting. We got a little behind on it just simply because of appointing people to boards and getting people to fill board seats, which, as you know, is a challenge always. But we're heading in that direction, and the interesting thing is whether we work with the county or not, we have to do something. And we're heading one way or the other, but we're working toward the solutions to the future problems we have.
Anybody else got any questions, Jeff, vice chair?
Did you say that make the rates go up or?
Typically, anytime you do an improvement, as you've seen here, the rates tend to go up. And that's because you have to pay for that purchasing power. What we're hoping to do is spread that over more ratepayers so that it's not as concentrated just in the town or just in 47 counties or just in your case, just inside of Athens. Maybe you're picking up, residential, commercial areas outside the town that you can help spread some of those costs out.
Anybody else got any questions?
Good idea.
Okay, Jeff, we're good for right now with you. I mean,
Okay.
Thank you.
we got some fish to fry, and Sherry, we're not sure how long she's going to stay here because she's got some problems, but we'll get through our meeting as quickly as possible.
Okay. Well,
Thank
hang
you.
around for a little while.
Steve.
Yeah, hang around.
Next up is Gary Led engineering report, council to review engineering recommendations for community crossing grant. Pretty much what it looks like. Gary Led made a recommendation for the community crossings grant. Rick Wally Construction Company was the lowest responsible bidder. Anybody have any comments about it? Can answer questions about what announced?
The engineer's estimate was $221,900, approximately 23.7% above the lowest responsive bid, which is $143,464 of the town share, $35,866.
Okay, motion to approve Rick Riley as the community crossing bidder.
I'll make a motion to approve the Riley contract.
And also make the motion for me to sign the documentation.
I'll make a motion for him to sign it up.
On favor, say aye.
Aye.
Next up, we've got another engineering proposal from Gary Ladd. Amy's requested that we get a map of the area that includes all the plats of properties and the owners of the properties. And Gary Ladd's going to take about 3 days to get a decent map of that. If an engineer does it, when we get ready to go before the commission to do that, it will carry a lot of weight.
Need your signature here, and on that page, I need everyone's signature.
Okay, guys, gotta sign this in here. Okay, and Gary Ladd wants about $1,700 to develop this plat map in detail with who listed, because, like I said, we have an engineer do it, and we go before the legal authority for the state of Indiana. We have to have more ducks in a row. Do you get a motion to approve Gary Ladd's bid for $1,700 to develop this map?
Make a motion for the $1,700 for the mapping.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And I need your signature. This one right here.
Okay. Approve the minutes from the January 12th meeting, county council meeting.
Make a motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Yeah.
That was Sam and Jill.
Council to consider claims for January 9th and the year-end claims of January 22nd.
I'll make a motion to accept this. Consider the claims of February 9th and year January 22nd.
Second.
And the Claims for February were $189,578.27. Year-end claims was just anything that may not have been captured throughout the year, just so everything that's been approved was $68,476.82.
Okay, next up, council for
Expenditures on that, too. That's the year-end.
Council review and sign reconciliations for December 2025, BNY Mellon and January 26th, North Seven State Bank.
Make a motion.
Oh, you don't need a motion on it, just. So for North Salem State Bank, fund and reconciled balance was $2,150,510.35. Fund balance was the same. BNY Mellon was $25,810.52.
Okay, you ready, Sherry? Court treasurer update, fund report and first commissioner report.
And one thing I wanted to talk about too, Jeff, and thank you for coming, because we just had an inspection with IDM, and we have done everything that we can possibly think of for I-9. And we got another early sewer warning there, and we passed, so.
We're working on a solution. Our sewer guy is talking to our engineer, and we're gonna try to come up with a solution, the meter problem. We have too much inflow in the system, and it puts us pretty much to our limit. And as soon as the weather gets better, we're gonna look for we have some pumps, we think are pump causing the biggest problem. So we're gonna start that in, I think, March or April, to do the door to door and some pumps. If you have some pump and it's on the sanitary sewer system, we've already got an ordinance, you're gonna have to disconnect it and put it someplace else. Dumping that street for it. We're gonna get a good storm surge. Okay,
Okay, adjustments for, January. We had 3. One was the readings did not save, so they had to be input again. Remove for the fire contract, water, and then reconnect fee was added incorrectly. So total for the claims is $25.59.
we're gonna go that time. Get approval for the reconciliations,
No, or adjustments, I mean.
adjustments.
Take a motion.
All in favor, say aye. Anything on tracks?
Nothing has come through as of yet. So, we met with the meter guy and we got clarification. So, we got a quote. So at the bottom of this quote, I can give it to you guys. I printed it.
Okay, I think that's official, so
Yeah, we got clarification.
he's not giving us any money, I don't care.
Everything is compatible.
I don't care about compatible, I want to be here.
Well, AMI, AMR, it is.
They
So
don't
we
work,
don't have to.
they don't work, you can take them back.
So on the cost of the meters, we can buy them, 1 or 2 at a time, we do not have to buy a box. And the bottom of the quote was just in the future, if we'd ever want to utilize our system for more services. And if you want to discuss with the rep, then I'm going to pass that on to you.
Well, the thing I read that into it was the meters should be compatible, but they're not, and we gotta spend like $17,000 to get their kind of system to work with it. And he's saying that those meters are compatible.
I'll let you talk to the rep. I'll let you talk to
I can
them.
talk on it. If we don't get the meters to work with our system, then we'll have to go with somebody else. I'm not gonna buy a whole system because they want to sell us one. Because we got a system we're paying for now.
And they don't want to sell us the entire system. They're happy with just the meters. So
Okay.
next on the agenda is requested travel. This is from the ILMCT conference. Registration 450, transportation 3822, lodging 720 for a total of 1202. This is for my annual food farm conference.
And motion to approve travel and stay for the conference for Sherry.
Make a motion for the travel for Sherry's conference.
Second. All fair say aye.
Signatures.
Next is move the March meeting date due to the conference.
Due to that. So, because our meeting's scheduled for the 8th, and that's when I'm going to be at that, so.
Move the meeting to March what?
That's going to be fun.
You guys want March what?
I know the 16th is the fire department.
Okay, and about the 17th, which is, March the 17th, which is the after part of the day. You might have a problem with March the 17th.
St. Patrick's Day.
You're gonna be tough, are you?
No,
Me either.
Bill, did you say you were?
and Friday, the.
It's gonna be a Tuesday.
That is the food pantry night, but we'll be out of here before 6
You better
o'clock.
be, with Roy up.
6 minutes.
Okay,
So is it the 7th, the
let's say the
17th?
17th.
Yeah, St. Patrick's Day.
Okay.
All right, and then.
Next is keep the SRF payment the same as
Yes.
is.
So just for accounting purposes, without what we were sending to SRF, just keeping it as with the amortization schedule of just keeping where it should have been instead of trying to add the other end. I just like to have it noted that we're just going to keep it the same.
We need a motion or just put it in?
Yeah, let's get a motion so that.
Motion to keep the SRF payment the same, which is, there was money going to a certain fund, that if we just leave it there at the end of our, loan, SRF loan, we'll still have some money, or we'll pay it off early.
Make a motion to keep the SRF payment on this.
Second. All fair say aye.
Unless,
More than 2 years consideration.
yeah, there's just one, and I think it was the one that we had messed up with the bank, they sorry. So, and that's the only one that we have outstanding, otherwise we don't have outstanding checks. But I have to have approval from the council to receive that in any claim greater than 2 years old.
And I've had motion to receive back our claim.
Motion.
Okay.
On fair say aye. Next up is utility contractors, or no, next up is a park. Oh, guys, pick up the pace.
The board's swearing in for 2026, we've got board members that need to be sworn in, and we need to replace a board member. So that's something you can take up. The movie night is set for 2/22, right? 2/22/26 is the movie night. We're making plans for the Easter egg hunt on 3/28, 26, and then we're talking about doing a chicken noodle cook-off mid-April, the 11th or the 18th, one of those two. We're working on solidifying that date, and then they're talking about doing for the movie matinee on that Sunday, 2/22/26, doing it like a 50s with like a Little Rascals kind of thing before, and shorts before the movie, and do that kind of thing. So that's what we have, and that's all we got. The parking lights, Brad brought up the fact that there's 2 lights in the parking lot at the park that are flickering. They're the 2 lights that are closest towards the concession stand on opposite sides of the parking lot.
You're gonna work hard too. We're gonna work hard too. I need you to take care of that. One of the things, new board members need to have a background check. We got one that came in a while back that was not that should have had a background check. We need a background check. Everybody goes in now, make sure we're not bringing any weirdos or convicted felons and stuff like that.
I agree.
And that's enough for me.
Where's your movie gonna be?
Here, at the firehouse.
Hey, Sharon.
Yes.
And we want to get you guys involved.
So if you have any ideas, we want to get our tickets yet.
Yeah,
Please don't pass it, watch it.
Like from the north.
if we can find them,
or on-
they're fun.
I saw that.
Like, they're north of town,
They said about the old Laurel or same time.
oh, by Sam's. And then flickering lights in the park.
Okay. Utility contractors, Drew Morgan, the UMAC report.
Yeah, both water and wastewater plants are having inspections on violations to report. The wastewater plant was inspected, they're still writing us up the inflow and infiltration. I reached out to Gary Ladd, run some ideas by him to see if we might be able to fix the issues relatively easily, and I will keep you informed on what we come up with. The total gallons pumped for January, 792,000, and billed was 675,700, leaving a loss of 116,300 or 14%. We will also be doing home inspections for some pumps this spring, and Carlos to finish that list. We will work with customers that have basements to make sure some pumps are not connected to the sanitary sewer, so that's one of our last.
One of the things I talked to Troy about, inspection, he said, we talked to Gary Ladd about doing another hydrologist report and looking at the water we have coming in, can it be changed so the outflow is, they can change, modify the plant for outflow, which would put us about, instead of running at 85 to 90%, we'd be at 60%. But that's, we'll probably have to write another contract with Gary to get that done. Hopper. You guys do anything this month?
Yeah, it's not a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, we're very busy.
And we appreciate it.
Yeah. I did have one shut off and turn on. I got a couple more. I'm just waiting for this weather to break so I got a couple of leaks. They're in the meters. They don't have to digging or anything like that. It's in the meters. I also had one at the barber shop. The meter, it was frozen and it messed on the bottom. They have a thing on the bottom. It's brass, and if they freeze, they have a tendency to bust, and that is the way I understand it's sort of a safety feature type deal. So they'd much rather bust there than somewhere else, I guess, I don't know.
I think it ended up being the whole bank, not,
Do I?
I think it ended up being the whole bank.
I don't know, I'm just going what the work order said, and said the barber shop.
Anything else you done, Keith?
I don't know. One thing I would like to say, my guys and I, aka Kyler and me, would appreciate and I understand that there's a lot of snow this time, and I understand it's hard to get places to put it, but, piling 4 foot of snow in an alleyway is no bueno. Not to mention it is unlawful. If a fire truck, cop, ambulance, something like that, they have to get through there, they can't get through there, you're gonna get a ticket. I let it go this time, there was 3 of them that I had, and I had to pretty much go back. Now, I'm not saying windrows and stuff like that, I can handle the windrows, but when it's literally in the middle of the alleyway, a 4 foot drift, or in one of the infrastructures that I have to get through to, then we're gonna have problems.
Craig, can you address that for other people? Get it with Keith, not to push the snow into the streets so that emergency services can get through.
Now, being the nice guy I was, I did take them out. Usually, if it keeps happening, they will have the pile back in their yard.
Okay.
And they won't.
I was just asking Amy too, she said she thinks we have an ordinance, but if we don't have one, we will write it into something to make sure that we're not obstructing each other.
Okay, you got anything else, Keith?
Yes, I will not be here starting Thursday for a week. Kyler will be around. He will be at minimal, I mean, if he can do it, he can do it. If not, I have to get somebody else. I will call Carla and I will give Carla, I think Carla has his number anyway. Jim has it, I know. So Kyler will be in charge. I will be scared. Yeah, I know. Trust me, he's scared of that. I will be out of country, so.
So the 12th through, you'll be back the 23rd?
The 11th, I will pretty much, let's just say the 11th,
Uh-huh,
I think. That's Thursday.
the 12th.
12.
Okay, let's just say the 11th through, we get back to 22nd.
So, yeah,
So,
so you'll be
so
back.
I'll be back to 23rd.
Okay,
I'm not saying, you know, if something happens, Kyler will be around, he can, yeah, he knows, but he may need some help or something like that, so.
Okay.
I'll
We'll
just
have-
let Carla know.
And yeah, I'll let Carla know, and I'll have, Kyle, he'll be around, he can help. I do have meetings, I'm just saying that I will not be here, so.
Okay, anything else?
You keep asking me, am I forgetting something?
I'm just saying, I want you to get done so we can move on.
We'll move on.
Next up is the INPA meeting. Commissioners, your INPA report.
Free service requests in January, no poles were installed and there were no emergency outages.
Okay. Next is the INPA Commissioners report. Right behind me, most of you guys got a breach alert last week about power. I'm going to try to explain this what it is. MISO and PJM are the transmission facilities for electric. Lots of generating plants. INPA owns parts of a lot of generating plants, and some of them they own completely. Solar, they own a lot of solar, they own a little bit of wind, a little bit of nuclear. Most of these coal plants they own a piece of. These are two separate systems for transmission. They generate power, and then, like we're in Advance One MISO, okay? That's one transmission area. They charge so much to generate the power, and then the transmission people charge so much for bringing the power right to the substation. There's a bill for everything. And the generating companies pay MISO and PGM to maintain the transmission facilities. Okay. Capacity advisory, when they start up, they look at what the capacity advisory is. Then they made maximum generator alert, generator warning, and that's when they have everything they've got online. What it is they have the coal power, they have the solar, they have the wind, and they have some of the natural gas plants online. And when that comes up, the next thing you do is they have some backup natural gas plants that they bring online and make up the difference. In other words, they try to do that. This time ISO, in general, the transmission lines were at max, but INPA was not. We had more generating power. If we don't have enough generating power, you got to go out on the network and buy it. Normal generating power is about 8 or 9, maybe 10 cents per kilowatt total with the transmission lines and the generators. If we have to go on the net, it goes anywhere from 25 cents to 40 cents a kilowatt that they have to buy. That comes back to your bill somehow. We don't want that. So they're trying to make sure that they have enough capacity to generate it in the peak demands of summer and winter. And we're right today. Forecast of tight conditions, and the very first, when it gets to the first step, that's when they send a reach alert out, okay? And that's when they tell everybody, you know, if you don't need it, turn it off. We were at level 2. A level 5 is when they start cutting the power back, maybe rolling blackouts, that kind of stuff. So we're at level 2 with the cold conditions. But MISO was in good shape this time, but maybe not next time. This is what they do, conservative operations, consider canceling generation and transmission, because some of these, they do maintenance outages on power plants year round. They have some kind of a thing that they need to do maintenance at a certain time. They'll shut it down when they don't need it at that time. And we'll move on to the next. That shows the NISO fuel mix. As you can see, the gray is the coal, the blue is nuclear, the brown is natural gas. As you can see, the wind and solar and other are not much of anything. Matter of fact, solar generation last month was on the tilt rotors was 10%, and for the fixed were 9%. So solar in Indiana is not very good. Go ahead, Barry. Cold weather conservative operation, maximum generation capacity, all those kind of things. They monitor, they have a system that MISO looks at everything and wants to make sure that everybody has power. No, they don't want to shut anybody off for any reason, but if one of those coal-fired plants went down, we'd have been in deep trouble, and they can quit for any reason. Hey, blow a line, or there's even at one point in time, a couple of years ago, when they had the pandemic, that they were running low on coal because they couldn't get by all the coal. So there's a lot of different factors going here. See, that's where the maximum generation, when they reach maximum generation, they can't do anything more. That's when they start telling people, on Reach Alert that Sherry put out to all you people, that says, you know, if you don't need it, turn it off. PGM, we don't care about PGM. I think we're done. Anyhow, PGM is one transmission area, MISO is another. Luckily, input on MISO had a little bit of extra power that we could sell off to keep us from getting beat up. But the overall transmission characteristic was at the limit. Any questions? If you didn't answer that, come with me to have the meeting. I'm ready anytime you want to. They give you details you don't want to know about.
They're very interesting though.
They'll tell you what generating plant that they had to shut down for maintenance, when they shut it down, what the capacity was for that month, how much they generated, what it cost for kilowatt to generate the power, all kinds of different things. You gotta run the load. No, we're doing.
And then how many years in advance does EMPA have to purchase power?
It used to be they would purchase it, once the power, they have to make a bid on it, even if they don't use it, they have to bid it, and sometimes pay for it ahead of time. And it used to be once a year, now they have to do it every quarter, because it bounces up and down because of the fuel costs. Any questions on this stuff? You guys are talking about your own input too, so good cheap utility, good people, great people to work with. Okay, sure, wellhead protection, what we have on that?
So, the report for this is due on 2/16. And I was sent this for the council just to review to make sure that last time I looked at it, it's due every 5 years, that there are no changes on this that you're aware of.
We're not gonna change that I know of because of the fact that the only place they have any type of anything possible would be Keystone, and they don't have chemicals that would reach into our well system that we know of.
So, I just needed to, we just need to have a discussion and just tell them.
What is the maps?
They've got one.
Yeah, okay.
They've got one.
Do you have any questions about that? Okay, next up, IDAM inspection. I think you already talked about that, Jerry, that we did do well, but we're working on fixing it. Hopefully, Gary Lake can help us with a program that will get us back to good, and between that and the sump pumps, maybe by midsummer, we'll be in great shape. Be off of morning. Next up is fire.
11 EMS, 3 motor vehicle, 1 fire, 1 alarm, 1 gas leak, that's it.
Anything else?
I'll wait for that.
Police department.
At a crime wave, 10 runs last month. Wow. 2 runs to 1 address to check the welfare. We had someone that fell and laid on the floor all night. So it was one of Dan's people he checked. And Dan, unfortunately, I put Dan on light duty for a while, so hopefully he'll be back soon. We had to check the welfare on a juvenile that sprained his ankle. Grandmother lived out of state. And it was an ex-wife, ex-husband kind of thing, and she wanted to check to make sure it wasn't abuse. We had a dog bite that occurred in Lebanon. They came to Advance to report it, came home. So it ended up being 11 to report. We had somebody that slept, rolled over in bed on their phone and called 911. Crime wave, I said. We had a suspicious car in the park. I wish I'd known about it because I already checked the car. Had a guy that was having trouble at home and he was going to the park and sitting for 4 or 5 hours. And, he was sitting there like 5 or 6 nights in a row. And, I checked him already and somebody called and I was off duty, so the sheriff's department came to check him. Dog investigation by animal control. Clapp from Jamestown was up here working overtime on, watching the bus stops. We did have a warrant arrest and a summons that was left at the wrong house. That's all we had. Photos for the truck, 18, Ford are, all in. Carla's gonna be listing that on that auction website. I did see a truck that had more miles than ours that, was going for, it was up at 13,000, so we may try to put a reserve that's a little higher than we first talked about.
We don't really have a reserve one, we just gotta approve it, because they accept the bid.
I want to plan a crime watch meeting for March 11th. I promised one last Saturday, or last summer, that we would do one. I was gonna move it to Jawbone so we could have snacks and drinks. And, I picked the 11th, that's the night where we have our departmental meeting, so I can get the reserves there that night. And I'll try to get everybody there so everybody can, meet them and know who they are and interact with them. It's kind of a fun night, it's pretty educational. And then you have the mileages on the vehicles down here at the bottom of the report. I've been trying to give you last month, because I know it's probably the only way you'll know that, the differences. And then we finally got the case resolved at Roman Doe with the hit and run. What a nightmare that was for me. The company that was involved was trying to duck their responsibility, and I had to get them to see the light. So that's all I got.
Nothing else? We're moving on. Okay, Comcast poll tax update. Amy, what's going on?
We still do not have it back from Comcast. I've been following up with them regularly and they're apologetic, but telling us that there's some bottleneck on their part. And even the legal department, they've been trying to get hold of them every week, but we do not have it back.
Okay. Next up, again, Amy, Dora. You got a Dora ordinance for us?
No, Sherry and I just talked about that on Friday, but I think we need to have a map, or I just need a description of
Pretty
the,
much all we need is an area right behind the Jawbone where his tables are, and that's it.
just right there. You don't want to include the whole,
No, I don't want to be walking down the street drinking. Yeah, that's it, free.
just right behind.
Get one of those.
Okay.
Well, they had the people in front of the building, though.
Be great.
They would get the drinks from two places. One, they could get them from Rolling Dough Pizza, or they could, Fred could have if he leases that space off, they could hire their own.
So would you have that door come up to the front of the building?
Sure, you need to
Be
have.
able to get to the back.
Or you would have to be, you have to include the area from, let's say, the sidewalk from Jawbone to down the sidewalk on the north side of Wall Street. Need a map for that?
Yeah.
We can come up. Brad, you know, help with a map?
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else? How soon can we have this ordinance in place?
We can get it, ready for next month.
Okay,
Yep.
I just want to be able to run down the streets and have drinking and partying and stuff.
And we discussed too, because
We
you
never
have to.
I never had to have a door before to do that.
No, I know.
Someone smell that tea.
I don't realize what this really is. It's brown.
Your live stream.
No, it's not brown, it's iced tea.
But you will have, the businesses will have designated cups, correct? So it's identifiable and things like that, so.
We need some signage too. Sherry and I talked about some signage, like delineated where the Dora begins and ends.
Spray paint. We'll spray paint the ground.
Don't do it, it's not a big deal. Any village issues? Next week, the temperature is gonna be above freezing, so any, historically, we've tried not to shut people off when there's low freezing. Doesn't mean we won't, just saying that we shouldn't, and Next week, if they owe their bill, then they're gonna get shut off. It's tomorrow. Temperature's gonna be up tomorrow, so if you haven't paid your bill by tomorrow, Carl likes cutting them off. We have the EMI meter, so she just punches the button, cuts them off. Anything else? Anybody else got anything for the business?
I just want to let everyone know on the council that, the food pantry has retained Tina Henderson of Mendenhall and Associates as our grant facilitator for a feasibility study, for the community building with food pantry.
I want to say one thing, Jim, I've been getting lots of comments on the job you did in the state of the county. A lot of people, Dustin Plunkett stopped me the other day, now that's kind of important in the county. And he said you killed it, so I just want to thank you for the job you did representing Advance.
All I said was, come on down, we're open for business. Yeah. We have nothing else, Dale?
Question,
Sure.
when is the next, Advance, 250th celebration meeting?
What's the 17th of
February.
17th of February?
Okay.
Any other questions? Dale?
I make a motion to adjourn this meeting.
Second.
Okay. That's a 50-minute meeting, we're gonna take a pace next time. I can't sit here listening because I'm old.
I miss those 3-hour meetings.
Yeah, I know.
You're having